So let's have a look at the module system in Orion, because there are some software already installed on Orion, and all of them are installed using this module system. And we will see in a moment why. In order to use the module system, you type the command module. And the first thing I would like to do is to see which softwares have been installed here as modules. And that's avail for available, right? And then you get a list like this in alphabetical order. So you can see first are the one starting with capital letter, and it's in 2 columns. So, so this is further out in the listing here. And if you use the return button, you scroll down 1 line at a time. And here, and now you can see we start after all the software with the capital starting letter has been listed, we start listing those with a lowercase in alphabetical order. So you have to know a little bit what you're looking for here, but you can see there is quite a lot of softwares here. We recognize some BLAST here and so on, but we are looking for something called FastP in lowercase letter. It's a little bit slow sometimes here because of my internet connection. And here we see it, FastP software. So what is, yeah, we will come back to later what exactly this software is, but apparently this is installed here on Orion for us. And notice all installations here have first the name of the software, then slash, and then a version number. And that's the whole idea of the module system. For instance, this software here called XPath, you can see it is found in many different versions. So it's not only the newest version, right? Because in some cases you may need an older version for it to work with some other software. It's usually dependencies between the softwares, right? So that's why we like to have all versions, or at least many versions, installed of the same software. And that's why this module system is required, because now we can load one of them without interfering with the other versions. For this FastP there was only one version though, so it's not so much used perhaps, or I think it's much used, but it's not much used here as a module. But that's something we will come back to. Okay, so now you have seen how we can list all the available software. It's not super much software installed on Orion. Lots of the software we are going to use are not found here. But that's something we can come back to. In order to quit or get out of this listing, you just type Q, the letter Q, and then you're back here. So let's see which modules have already been loaded for us. And then you type module list like this. And you will see that, at least in my case, there are 3 softwares already loaded: Slurm, Slurm Utils, and Miniconda 3. I think perhaps you will only see the first 2. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. These are already loaded, and the Slurm is the queuing system that we use, so this should always be loaded. And Miniconda is also something we very often use. We will come back to that in bin 310 actually. What we can do now is to load this FastP that we saw up here. And then I copy this. You just drag the mouse over it to copy. You don't need to make any other, press any buttons or anything. And then we type module load, and then I right click here to paste in again. Yeah, paste like this. So now I type module load and this text here, right? And then just return. And now this module should have been loaded. Let's run the module list again to see. Yes, indeed, here it is. But notice we also loaded a lot of other softwares now. In addition to the first, these three here, we saw already in the first round, right? But now, in order for this one to work, we needed to load lots of other softwares too. So this is much like R packages, right? Think of this module, you have to load them in order to use them, like you have to library the R packages. And there are dependencies. So when you load one software, you typically load some other. Same with R packages, right? When you library one package, there are some other packages who are also becoming active because they are required. So this is quite the same here. And now, in order to run this software, you have to know how to start, how to use it, right? And I happen to know that if you just write the command fastp, it should now work. And here you can see we got some help text because we didn't say how to run fastp, so now fastp will help us. It first says an ultra-fast all-in-one FastQ preprocessor and usage, and here it lists all the options and how you should use this software. We will come back to this help text later in Bin 310. We will not dwell on this here now. We just registered that this was a valid command because it gave us some output. If we now, for instance, another software called FastQC, which we haven't loaded, if we try to run that one, it will look like this. Command not found, because it hasn't been loaded, right? So if you forget to load the software before you start using it, this is the output you will see. But now we are ready to start using the module system, and we will use it a little bit before we move to another way of using software, which is the one we will prefer. But we have to start here on the module system.